Hey guys, Chef Joe, founder of Chefmeals LLC. I wanted to hop on and just give you some general information about the Chefmeal LLC brand, what we're about, what we do, what's going on, and more information, to come. But, as many of you know me as Chef Joe, I've been, making waves in the Lehigh Valley for the last almost 4 years now. When I started my journey, from dissolving my other partnership with my other company for about 5 years. So Chef Mills LLC, originally started back February 17th, 2020, a month before the pandemic outbreak, which was a very hard time for a lot of folks, and especially in the food business was very, very, very hard and challenging. I'm grateful and blessed that I didn't have to close, working endless hours and bitching and drive to make this dream work. So with that being said, the Chef Meals LLC brand, when we first started, I was offering several different services, with my background and experience and knowledge in this food business for about 25 years now that I was offering. Unfortunately, some of those services I stopped. So like weekly meal prep, we stopped doing that. I stopped taking on some more personal chef gigs, just due to the scheduling and so forth. But however, there's three major services that we focus on a lot of our energy on and what we're about. Of course, the one service is our main service, which is food service management for chapter houses, which is, chapter house is basically a sorority or fraternity at a university that actually has a chef inside their house. They manage their meal plan inside the house. So you actually have a personal chef, that typically cooks, 2 meals a day. Some houses are different. Some houses might be 1 meal a day, but for the most part, it's usually 2 meals a day, and it's usually a lunch and a dinner, or it could be a brunch for one menu, and then a chapter dinner for another. The other part of the food service management that I focus a lot on is youth camps. Being in the camp industry for about 13 years, I had the pleasure and privilege and experience, to help build out few high volume camps, feeding roughly, 2,000 to 3,300 meals a day with a team of international staff and local staff. And most of that staff is unexperienced, so it's a lot of mentoring, teaching throughout the summer in a high volume. So it could be crazy, but it's a fun crazy, So that's what I do. Once the chapter houses are done throughout the academic year, usually it's like late August to about middle of May. I'm typically busy with that schedule, and then we convert over into the summer program, which usually, prior, pre-work is being done prior to that, but physically on site is usually roughly, June 1st to about middle of August. So, those services work hand in hand with each other. With that being said, typically, depending on the summer, depending on business, I try to keep, my staff, which is, chef assistants, I kind of convert them over into like the summer camp program. So they always have work, throughout the whole year without being laid off and so forth. And then the other part of that food service management is, private schools. So, me working in the schools district industry for a long time, um, school food is different. It's based on, budgeting, resources. Don't get me wrong. This, school does the best they can, but honestly, it's, all processed food. It's not really good nutrition. And I get it, with the budgets, you got to keep your price point down low. But that's why I'm, offering my service to a private school because, they're not restricted to, a certain budget number in a sense. With that being said, you get chef, food, you get scratch made food, wholesome food, which is the most important. Well balanced meals, for your private schools. If it's lunch or a breakfast program, that's something that we're currently taking inquiries about. But if you're looking for a youth camp food service management, this summer is pretty much already planned out for 2024. But if you're, entity that's looking, 2025 is actually open right now. So You're more than welcome to send me an email, happychefmeals@gmail.com, or check out my website, www.chefjoeisonthego.com. And in there, you'll see all my services. And there's actually a link inside of, for both, for Chapter House and for Camp Food Service. There's a link inside that you can click on, which is designed on my back end, which is getting to know you, getting to know your organization. What your needs are, what your budget is. If you're previously using a company, just tell me about your experience with that company, and so forth. And then what happens from there is you fill out that form. I review it. I do my diligence, looking at your profile, and then the next step was, line up a phone call or a Zoom meet or meet in person to discuss your needs, for your, your either your chapter house or camp, and then we'll take it from there. When it comes to camp food service management, my company is run on all your leadership positions. So if you need a food service director, head chef, sous chef, allergen certified chef, specialty food chef, dining room manager, supervisor, that's where Chef Meals can help. When it comes down to like your lower profile, employee, like, your kitchen assistants and support, those I work with the camp. So I kind of work with the team that you have, with my team and leadership, to make sure that your food service program is running successful throughout the summer with great systems and processes. Of course, my experience in the industry for so long, I take my job very serious, and I do the best I can. I'm very passionate about it. So it's really running a system that's very smooth, and having the right people to run that system. So when I'm doing my hiring, I hire certain criteria of folks. Most importantly, no egos. That's right out the book. If you have an ego, Chef Mel's out the company for you. Second is culture dynamics. My team is transparency. It's all about learning something new each day. If we had that same mindset and working as a team player, because that will make the kitchen work. But when it comes to chapter house, I typically have, depending on the nature or the size of the house and their needs, I typically have one chef or a sous chef there. And then if it's another house that's bigger, that might need like a kitchen assistant. So that kitchen assistant will help with prep wise with the chef, do dishes, salad bar, and so forth. So that's how my company runs. So I don't run when it comes to camps, I'm not the company that's going to supply you your whole kitchen staff. I supply you the leadership positions that work, side by side with your staff to have a great summer and so forth. The second part of my business is Chef Street Mobile Kitchen, which is a food trailer, which is known for empanadas, but it's a Chef Street Mobile Kitchen. The reason why is that because we can create several different menus pertaining to your event needs. We're highly do a lot with private events. So that's like customization, flexibility to send you menus within your preference and your budget. And so that truck is being booked right now. I'm on a limited schedule with that. I'm not taking as much as most food truck operators because that's just a small part of my business with everything else that's going on, especially when it comes to the summertime when I'm extremely busy with the actual food service management for camps. So that is, we do have some dates left, coming late spring, and there might be some dates in the summer, depending on the dates, that I'm available to do that. But that's, Chef Street Mobile Kitchen is for public and private events, and eventually down the road, I'm looking to make that food truck more for private events. So if it comes to a wedding, anniversary, house party, fundraising opportunities, corporate luncheons, so if you're trying to feed your company 3 shifts of your employees, if it's like once a year or once every few months, that's where that food truck will benefit your organization a lot. And then, we'll still be doing public events, but not as much, because I'm currently working with one set contract right now. And if everything goes well with that, I'll be very limited with timing, to make my, food truck to take on all these public events. If I get this event, this location, I'll be set up basically in the same location, throughout a few different spots at that location, typically Thursday, Friday, Saturday, late night, roughly 11 p.m. to about 3 a.m. So stay tuned for that. And then the third part of my business is the shop. Everyone knows the shop, and being in Hellertown, it's a unique empanadas experience. But I'm adding more. I'm bringing back, some of my old school stuff from back in the day when I had Fat Joe's, when I used to be 200 plus more pounds heavier, which is my fat subs. So the spot's going to be known for a unique empanada experience in fat subs. Fat subs, aka, is a heart attack on a roll. Either it's for one hungry person or for two people, but believe me, they're loaded. It's packed. It's messy. It's meant to be that way. If a sandwich is messy, it's great. If a sandwich is not messy, that means it's not too good. So that I'm planning on having that opening with pop-up ghost kitchen. So what a pop-up in ghost kitchen means to you, to the community, is I have certain hours out of the week that the kitchen is actually open up for a pop-up kitchen. And the ghost kitchen part of that is that I'm a food tech company. So, I utilize technology working with food, so online ordering, text to order. So basically in technology format is, the shop is going to be based on. Yes, you can still come into the shop, you can still order at the counter, and and so forth. But my demographic for serving the community for a few years now in this area is a lot of the younger generation, a lot of college students. I serve over thousands of college students, and the other part of my demographic is the folks that want munchies, aka stoners. Hey, I am passionate about cannabis, so my place is for everyone. However, the shop decor will have a lot of cannabis, decor throughout, pictures, tables, so forth. So if you're coming in with your kids, I'll highly recommend. If you're a cool parent, dope, it's great. But by all means, I just don't want anyone to be offended by the decor or they feel some type of way, because I know my business, I know my demographic, and like I said, it's a place for everyone. But if you're cool about it, and you want to support local, awesome, I appreciate you. But if it's not for you, wish you the best, but I know my demographic and the community that I'm serving. So that's the shop, the ghost kitchen. So we're planning to have that open early March is the plan. During this month, I have a busy month ahead with other parts of the business, but I'm going to be getting in there to paint, renovate, get some inspection set up, get all equipment set up and so forth. So that's going to take some time with my busy schedule. Roughly, I just have weekends right now to do that because I'm pretty busy during the week. So stay tuned for that. It's right across the street from the dispensary in Phillipsburg, and it's gonna be a busting, like I say, the younger generation, busting gas. It's lit. It's gonna be great, man. It's a place for everyone. I said, but I'm targeting my cannabis folks, man. Much love for you green people. This is a place for you. You got the munchies. I have the solution. Either this come from empanadas, fat subs, mac and cheeses, overstuff, burritos, giant quesadillas, many more, that's coming to that menu. But I don't want to talk too much about that menu because I'm currently working out that menu guidelines of what I'm looking to offer. But stay tuned for that. So that's what Chefmeals LLC is about. We're basically a culinary hub that services a lot of different culinary services. We do catering. I don't advertise too much, but my background being in this industry, I did roughly 20 years plus of catering. So we do catering, we do customized menus, we do have set menus. Typically, like what I like to offer is I'm very flexible. Being a chef, cooking different cultures and cuisines throughout many years, my experience and knowledge. I actually do a lot of my catering customization to your preference and your budget. If you say, hey, I got a $500 budget, I set up a menu to fulfill your budget needs. However, if it's a set menu, I have a lot of those that you can pick and choose from, and you can create your own menu that way. So the flexibility is there. So Chef Meals LLC, as some of you might be familiar, you saw that I'm relocating to my hometown, Phillipsburg, great community. I had the pleasure over the years when, my kids were doing football and wrestling and cheerleading. I helped a lot of our organizations with banquets, and I'm always giving, because I really enjoy the Phillipsburg community. Most of my demographic, was at my other location came from, that ABE area, Phillipsburg as well. But it's great, with this new location, a lot more traffic, and it's just most importantly being back in my hometown. A lot of people know me here in town. I look forward to this. I look forward to serving the Phillipsburg community full time now, not just on my food truck when I'm doing certain events throughout the year at a couple locations in town. So stay tuned for that. I'm blessed and grateful for everything that's, 2024 is starting to look up for me. Things are starting to happen. I landed, Chef Mill's first, actual chapter house. Considering, my background, I worked for many different chapter organizations in the past for bigger companies. My competition, I want to say, I put myself through some research for a while, just to gain that, and I put out a great service and it impacted a lot of students. With that being said, that's what led me to my first house today, which I'm very grateful and blessed. The fellas over here, the brothers at this house are really enjoying the food program. They're loving it. My energy, my culture, music playing. Like I said, when you work in these houses, you got to have a certain chef to work these houses. It's all about the dynamic of your culture, your team. So I just don't hire chefs, just to fulfill a position. I hire people that actually are in line with my mission and standards, and they're looking to have a great culture, being a great team player, working for an awesome owner, Chef Joe. You know what I mean? As everyone knows me, I mentor over 350 people in my career. That's all I'm about. I love it. I enjoy that the most. But that's how I hire my team is good quality people that are down to earth, that can mingle with any kind of youth camp or chapter house with their members or their campers and staff. Not no high ego, headstrong chef that he's gonna he's too good to touch a dish. That would never work for me. So my chefs, yes, they will wash dishes. Yes, my chefs will sweep a floor. My chefs will mop a floor. All what it takes to get the job done. That's what my team does. So I want to share this information with you guys. I know it's a kind of long video, but I just wanted to give you updates of what's going on. And most importantly, recently there's been several different presses reaching out to me. As some of you already saw the one article on 69 FM and Z News. That was a great, great, great article. Thank you for that article. Stay tuned this coming weekend. The morning calls dropping something on me. It should go live on Saturday. It should be published on Sunday. And then they have another press, which I'll release that later. So things, presses are really coming out to me, man. And, I'm blessed. I thank God for, making this work, seeing that, over the years, my ambition and drive, and the challenges that I face versus adversity, bad business people, networking, throughout the last 4 years. But it's, failure's not an option. To all my supporters, customers that, believed in me, thank you. I always say failure's not an option. I worked too hard just to give it up, and most importantly, food business is a rough business to be in. 9 out of 10 people don't make it in their first year. I'm grateful and blessed that here I am going on almost 4 years through a new startup in a pandemic that I'm still here making it happen. So there's a story, there's a story behind the glory or the glory behind the story, however you want to perceive that. But yes, it's a lot of dedication and investment and sacrifices um, that a lot of folks won't be able to handle. Like I said, there's a gift inside of me that God blessed me with, and now it's coming to light. And thank you for all that and all your supporter and fans, clients, networking people, customers. Stay tuned. I look forward to seeing you downtown Peaburg. Even if you're in the cannabis line, getting your strains of indica or sativa or a hybrid, you need the munchies, you smell that food, you can actually order right on your phone when you're waiting in that line. Because sometimes that line could be long. So you can place your order right then and there off your phone, and by the time you get out, it'll be ready for you, ready across the street. Well, love, peace, and happiness, Chef Joe. Have a great day, guys. Talk to you soon.